everybody, welcome to the Fire Up with CJ show. Today we have Kevin Hancock, and he is here with his book, The Seventh Power, One CEO's Journey into the Business of Shared Leadership. And in the last segment, we were talking about how you move people to this new way of navigating a workplace, and specifically how kind of the questions. It's really not the questions that you ask in understanding someone individually, but it's really listening very deeply to what the individual needs and wants are. And I want to talk to you in this segment about this concept that you have in the book of a higher calling, and which seems like there's usually a mission, organizational mission. What is this idea of a higher calling?
Yeah, it's really about rethinking the very purpose of work itself. What is the purpose? And giving work the highest possible mission. So in our company, we've actually changed our mission. The first priority of the company is to be valuable, meaningful to the people who work here.
Oh, wow.
That's our mission. We want the people who work here to have an engaged, meaningful experience that is advancing their life in more than just economic ways. So the old model was you ask all the individuals to focus only on the well-being of the company. The new model is the company starts by focusing on the well-being of the individuals, which then, as an outcome, creates teams that are really committed and appreciative and excited about their company, and they reciprocate that care back on the company itself, so that the profit performance, or whatever the goals are, the key metrics for the business, improve, but they now become what I like to describe as the outcomes, important outcomes of a higher calling. So the profitability of an organization is going to be enhanced, but it is not the goal, it's the outcome of engaging people in a different way.
So I have all sorts of questions about that, because the one of the issues that is possibly pops up for me is that, okay, we're kind of maybe brainwashed into thinking it's all about profits for shareholders and profitability and sales. And so this is like well-being, and everyone sort of says, oh yeah, I believe, well-being equals higher sales, but I need to focus on sales and profitability.
Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of the mentality I think that most people have. So and you've had many, you're now the sixth generation of your lumber company, and and so you have actual data to compare your results versus this type of leadership. And I have no idea how your predecessors led, but I assume I don't know. What did they lead in this kind of more traditional way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you look at that, do you feel like what has been the bottom line of your focus, your new mission?
Yeah. So when the mission becomes the engagement experience of the people who work there, you've got to then come up with some new metrics, because we're now trying to measure something maybe we didn't care that much about before as corporations. So we made employee engagement our primary metric. We made it our most important metric. So we participate in the best places to work survey system. So every year, all of our employees take a confidential third-party survey where they define their
Wow.
experience, not me defining their experience. They define it.
You mean like
So
they
you
define what a good workplace is? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they're asked to answer like 90 questions about their work experience,
Wow.
covering all different aspects, and that produces an engagement score. You may well know in America, engagement at work is terribly low. It runs around a third of all people who work find their work experience engaging or meaningful beyond its economic benefit,
Hmm.
meaning 2 out of 3 don't. It's just a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's just a way to, um, Hancock Lumber now, we've been a best place to work in Maine now 6 years in a row, and our engagement rates are almost 90%. So
Wow.
almost 9 out of 10 people at this company will self-describe their experience as meaningful to them. And I don't think I have to um, sell the idea that when 90% finds work engaging, that team can produce something much more magical than when 33% do.
Mm,
It's self-evident, but
right.
it has shown up in our company, our performance. Well, I'll put it this way: in the decade we focused on people, we ended up in 10 years outperforming the previous 165 years of the company's history. And we were able
Wow.
to then take all of that profit performance and reinvest it back in the company in better infrastructure that then again that creates a better platform for employees. And so it all spirals and everybody wins, but it starts by the company not focusing on itself first.
I love it. I'm just so energized and excited in the ways that you've changed your company culture and to actually have a proof point. Because I've interviewed a lot of different people. They're like, yes, in theory, what happens is we find blah blah blah, but it's altogether different. Like, yes, I have a company and we have found blah blah blah. You know what I mean? There's a huge difference. We've been talking to Kevin Hancock about his book, The Seventh Power, One CEO's Journey on a journey into the business of shared leadership. And how can folks get in touch with you if they or get your book? What's the best way to connect?
Yeah, both. So my website is kevindhancock.com. D is in David. And on that site, you can find my book, and you can also find a bunch of other resources on the subjects we've discussed, and you can communicate with me directly. And I always make time to um, communicate with anyone that wants to communicate with me.
Thank you so much for your time. Really, I really enjoyed it, and I'm feeling so hopeful. That there are companies that are like that are taking the approach that are very employee centric and doing so well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, CJ, for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show and love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.